All right, I'll bring the meeting to order. I'm Don Berube, 135 River Road.
Kim McDaniel, Select Board Rep.
Carrie Mackinnon, Community Development Director.
Kristen Hayden, 2 Colonial Terrace.
Ben Davis, 9 Wheeler Road.
PC DeStefano, 4 Hopkiln Road.
Levi Berry, 19 Laurel Drive.
Jonathan Petrangelo, 5 Whittier Drive.
Michael Lawton, 3 Asa Drive.
All right. So we just got old business to talk about with a review of the proposed zoning amendments.
Yeah, while we're waiting, I can maybe do what I was gonna do at the end first. If that's okay, a few little things. I got a notice from the city of Concord that they're gonna have a public meeting about the Loudon Road Bridge over the Merrimack River. I don't know why we were invited, but the town of Bow was invited. I thought I'd share it with you guys. It is on Thursday, November 13th at 6 p.m. at the community center on Canterbury Road. So it's a discussion about the bridge improvements. If anyone is interested, we can pass this around, but.
Pedestrian improvements on it.
Probably because there's major impact and we're abutting.
Yeah, so we got notice about that. Quick master plan update, the survey is live. We got postcards made, they got distributed at Trunk or Treat, but I can pass it around. If anyone has a good venue to distribute some, feel free to take a stack, bring them to your neighbors. It is on the town website now, it's on the town Facebook, so anything that you folks can do to help spread the word, you can like and share the town's post on Facebook to help get that boosted. You can talk to your neighbors or friends or groups or teams and parents, whoever you talk to, both residents and business owners. We want everyone to participate if we can.
So, do they get mailed to people?
No.
That's tough.
Out of the budget.
I wasn't listening well enough. Have you told the Bow Times?
We are working very hard to coordinate with them on getting an ad in the Bow Times.
Did they get?
I think it's in.
I got a text about it.
You got a text about it?
From the website, probably,
Yeah, probably.
yeah, that's good.
Oh,
Thank you.
It shows up on my
I feel like I
Google
should sign up
News.
for something. I'll get
What was that?
It shows up on my Google News feed.
Wow, how did we hit that?
Big time.
You. All right, well, that's good. So anything anyone can do to help spread the word, I'm gonna bring some postcards and flyers to the library and rec center and stuff like that, but if anyone has, an audience you can think of, I can give you, I've got a box of postcards and I can print more flyers if there's a place to post them.
Did you send it into the schools? Because they have newsletters that go out.
Yeah,
If
we'll
you just
get,
wanted to.
see if Melanie Klunk is on the steering committee, she's on the school board, so I will ask if she can get us into their stuff. And then I can get us on the rec newsletter probably too.
I think that's where I see, like, I get the emails from the Bow Rec Center, what's.
Yeah, they have a
Like that
big,
was
they have a big
their
list, so yeah, we'll work on getting
Yeah,
all
the
those
school, the
places.
school one's one where I always find stuff, the elementary school, 'cause that's the one I.
Yeah, if you tag it at the bottom, it'll reach a fair amount of people.
Good.
Has anybody filled it out?
Yep.
Yeah?
I know,
I know my husband filled it out.
I don't have direct access to the responses, but I know that like immediately after Trunk or Treat, there were like 14. So hopefully they're picking up since then.
I waited a week, so I was trying to,
Okay, good.
give you a little boost, a little while
Super.
later. I think I waited till it got posted on the Facebook page.
All right, so we'll just keep moving on slightly more, I don't wanna say important, but we'll wait to get to the meat of the meeting until Sandy gets here, but if you wanna go, we have the proposed meeting schedule for 2026. It generally follows the same schedule we've been doing. The main meetings are the third Thursday of each month, and then between October and February, there's also a second meeting the first Thursday of the month. That January one has a question mark because the first Thursday of January is the 1st. So we're not meeting that day.
Sorry about that.
So the second Thursday would be the 8th, so then it'd be 2 weeks in a row, the 8th, the 15th. We could wait and see if we actually need that second meeting and when it gets closer. So we just left it with a question mark.
We usually use it,
I
cause
know,
we're usually
I know.
making last minute changes to the,
Yeah, that gets to crunch time, so
I would recommend putting it, I mean, I hate having back to back, but I would suggest doing it the 8th.
cause that could very well be the public hearing date. It's kind of,
Let's do that, and if we have to change it.
we can always change it,
Yeah.
but, okay, so we'll put in the
Yeah,
8th.
this, I mean, with doing the 8th, do we wanna move the 15th to the following week, so it's not 2 weeks in a row?
Can you do that?
We can, I mean, as long as we have advance notice. I wouldn't do it any later than now, but
So to the 22nd. 8th and the 22nd.
and then the rest of it is your regular pattern. I don't believe there's any holiday conflicts. There's not really a lot of Thursday holidays, so I think we're good.
So that if we had to notice something from the 8th, you'd have time for the 22nd, which you might not, a week away, right?
Yeah, if we have to use that. So if everyone's good with that, I mean, obviously this isn't set in stone. We try to put it out so people know what to expect for the year, especially for the application deadlines. But if you guys are good with it, if someone wants to make a motion to adopt it.
I'll make a motion to adopt with the 2 modifications, the planning board meeting schedule for 2026.
I'll second.
All those in favor? Opposed?
I'll say, yeah, if
Yeah.
everyone can vote on that, even alternates, because it's a general planning board action thing, it's not, you don't have to be a voting member for that, so we'll count everyone in on that. Alright. Oh, perfect timing, Sandy. We've been stalling. So should we assemble for our photo?
Yes.
So Sandy, while we were waiting, we just talked about the master plan survey being out, and we looked at the planning board meeting schedule proposal for January. Since the first Thursday is the first, we changed the meeting dates for January to January 8th and 22nd.
Change it to the 8th and 22nd, you said?
Yes.
Oh, that's actually better.
That's good. Alright, so now to the meat of things. I took the proposed zoning amendments that we had talked about at the last meeting and made a first go of incorporating them into our actual ordinance text. So the sheet they have that's stapled that has some stuff in red. That is, I just like copied like a section that we were working with at a time into it, so you could see like at least the whole paragraph or section we were working with. So for that first one, 6.02, that is related to SB 281 that says that the town has to allow the issue of building permits on a class 6 road without approval from the Board of Selectmen. So, but it also says that if the zoning ordinance requires frontage on a class 5 or better road, that you would need a variance to build on a class 6 road. So there's basically instead of going to the Board of Selectmen, you go to the ZBA. So it adds a layer of protection, so we're not just free for all, build whatever you want on a class 6 road. Our definition of frontage, which is way separate in the definition section, does say that frontage means on a class 5 road or better, but I wanted to also incorporate it right into this section that talks about frontage, because that's where you're gonna go to find out how much frontage is required. So where it used to say that minimum lot frontage shall be a continuous unbroken line along one street, I added in it should be a continuous unbroken line along one class 5 or better road. Any thoughts?
Sounds all right.
Easy enough.
Simple.
7.04 is about accessory dwelling units. That is related to HB 577. And I did give you the whole NHMA guidance document. So if you wanna follow along in that. Oops, I did not print the separate one for 577 though, but we know that it means that you have to allow one accessory dwelling unit, which can be detached or attached. So I took out the line that says the detached ADU may be permitted by conditional use permit. And I added a line explaining the second part of it that says that you have to allow ADUs to be converted from existing structures, regardless of whether it violates dimensional standards for setbacks or lot coverage. So if you had like a house with a garage that violated the current setback rules, so it's, too close to the street, then we wouldn't allow it to be built today. We would still have to allow them to convert that to an ADU because the building's already there.
But it still has to fit the size restrictions and everything.
Exactly, and the size restrictions relate to the habitable area, so if their barn was big, they could still make a piece of it into an appropriately sized ADU. And the rest, like, if it was like, an upstairs of a garage, you could make the whole back section storage and just have the appropriately sized living area in part of it.
And what does it do with septic? Like, how does that,
Nothing,
like it,
the
if-
rules still apply, so you have to have an approved septic plan that includes basically 2 bedrooms for the ADU plus all the bedrooms in the existing house. You don't have to build it unless your system fails, but you have to have an approved plan in place. So that if you do have a problem, you've proven that you can fit an appropriately sized system on the site, and you can install it
so
quickly.
you can put in the ADU, wait for things to figure.
Yeah, oftentimes people are just installing a new one, or because they want a separate system for the ADU. We're seeing that a lot too, but but you don't have.
Which would be, I can see people.
Depending on how this lot is situated, but you don't have to actually install it. Some people are like, oh, our system's old, we're just gonna upgrade it now, and they just do it, but we can't make them. And then under D, that was something I just, while we're making changes, we might as well tidy that up. It used to just say one of the dwelling units shall be occupied by the owner. It should, I mean, to be more accurate, it should say at least one.
At least one.
Yeah.
It's probably not something I would have gone up for changing unless, but since we're already changing that section, we might as well clean it up. So this one gets a little more interesting. This is related to HB 631. So if you wanna find the section in the NHMA guidance, that's on the first page. So it has two pieces. The first is that you have to allow multifamily residential on commercially zoned land as long as there's adequate infrastructure. And then the second part is that if an existing building is being repurposed for residential use, you have to allow it even if they don't meet the setbacks or the height or the frontage that we would require today. NHMA's guidance says that that second part applies in any zone, not just the commercial zone. That wasn't exactly the way I would have read the ordinance, but I will trust NHMA's guidance. But I will say, all of these I'm gonna run by the town's attorney before we send it to public hearing.
So the table is just adapting 7.28.
So
Okay.
there's two separate parts. So the table is from our table of use regulations.
Mhm.
And so this was the best way I could figure out how to incorporate that, saying that we have to allow multifamily and commercial. So I added, we didn't have even a multifamily use because you removed them all in 2022. So I added a line for multifamily under residential and put it only permitted in commercial.
Where is the commercial in town?
To get my maps back.
Yeah, so when you say commercial, it's no, that doesn't, see industrial.
Yeah,
that's what I meant.
Commercial,
Yeah,
it's not
industrial.
industrial.
You just
It's like a very standard
incompatible with
area.
air, noise, and odor and transportation impacts. So
Yeah.
they're not compatible versus commercial, I guess is. So like,
Our commercial district's pretty small.
I was gonna say, where is our
We never-
commercial
I think
district?
We never
There's a
discussed
little
it, which
bit
tells
at
me that it's pretty small.
Robinson Road, right? Beginning of Robinson is,
Robinson and 3A.
there's some, where it's, there's a little piece that's commercial there and.
You're right, and then, yeah, around Robinson Road, and then there's another piece on the screen. It's like where Grapponi is, basically. Where Grapponi is, it's like Road Junction. Zoom in.
It's pink.
No, I guess I could look on the big screen up there.
Hold on. It's a little laggy, but, so it's this pink area, so
Okay.
along 3A, parts of this upper part of 3A, and then there's another piece right here around Robinson Road. So it's a pretty small area. And then the giant asterisk, which comes in, you see on the rightmost column of the table, is the supplementary regulation. So that's where, you know, we have like, oh, this is allowed, but here's the section that actually explains what that means and what exactly is allowed. So I added section 7.28, a brand new section, to explain what multifamily in the commercial district means. I referenced the new RSA number because I think it's helpful to understand sometimes where these things are coming from, like, it's because it's directly coming from the RSA. Multifamily is allowed in commercial provided that adequate infrastructure, including roads, water, and sewage systems, is available to support the development. And then if you see in the NHMA document, the question it says about who decides, the top of the third page, who decides whether there's adequate infrastructure? They kind of asked this question, and they've given 4 choices, basically. I propose choice number 1, that the planning board reviews it and makes the determination when reviewing the site plan, but that was just my initial proposal, because I wanted to get something on the paper, but if you look through the other 3 choices, we've got the planning board could decide, the select board could decide, They could even commission a study to determine like what areas might be appropriate. Code enforcement or building official could determine it as part of the building permit review.
I mean, looking at it, and for what our area is, the one at Robinson Road, there is water there. So then it would be a matter of if they could make a septic system work.
Yeah. And then, or a combination saying maybe the select board looks at the roads. So I thought it kind of made sense for the planning board to review it. I don't think it makes sense to get to a building permit position and then have the building inspector
get
make
that
that
far,
call when they've
yeah.
already gone through the planning board.
Yeah, yeah, you would-
And then get there and say, oops, actually, the building
Yeah.
inspector doesn't think you have enough capacity to do this. That feels way too far along in the process. I think we could get weigh-in from building
That's what I
inspector,
was gonna say, we could request
public works
their-
director.
yeah.
I mean, we often solicit feedback from them. But I just thought it made sense for the planning board to make that call because, and it's a little bit more site specific. You're reviewing the details of each proposal.
And I mean, that's something that we could ask for, for whatever system they're putting in, a peer review and.
Yeah, show us that the infrastructure is adequate. So I put in that the planning board would determine that during site plan review. And then in little parentheses at the end, I put another line that was another optional part, is that the planning board can require that the ground floor space be used for retail or similar uses. So that's, I wanna talk to you guys if you wanted to include that part or not. So this is in the commercial zone, if somebody
Yeah,
wants to
I
build
think
multifamily
the
housing.
mixed use is great.
So if we want to require, it said you could require that all available grounds floor space, or you could say a percentage of it. If you didn't wanna say it's all of it.
Didn't we have that, wasn't there,
It was in the mixed use zone, we had something like
There was
that,
a
we kind of
percentage.
pulled that out because it wasn't working, but yeah, so I just thought that would be a
Although I
Discuss.
hear that a lot of a lot of what's been going on with housing and mixed use is kind of getting back to that idea of having commercial downstairs and
I think it is,
residential
I think it is
upstairs.
swinging back around, yeah.
In the way that they were separating it previously, you mean?
Yeah, I feel like maybe, I don't know what the time period is, but obviously everything used to be separate and then like, oh, mixed use, we'll put the commercial on the ground floor and then we're like, well, no one's actually building it. And so we actually changed ours to get away from that and now more recently, like in the past year, I've heard of more developments that are actually
that's
doing,
more-
they're actually building that now.
Okay.
Now, just one suggestion that I have, because I was trying to read it for whatever, is make the including roads, water and sewage systems just separated out with commas. So a comma after infrastructure and a comma
And
after
after
septic
systems.
systems.
Yeah.
Because otherwise the subject verb agreement was not clear.
Yes, I as I was reading that, I was like, yeah, that is awkward. So do we wanna keep the ground floor space for retail? Or do it as a percentage? Get rid of it?
I kinda like all, I think it's easier.
What's that?
I kinda like all,
For commercial,
all
like,
commercial
yeah.
versus the percentage.
Kyle?
I'd suggest that, and when we say including, we would say including but not limited to.
For the types of infrastructure?
Yeah.
What was interesting about that one, if you read the NHMA guidance, there's a whole section where they said, what is infrastructure?
it's much-
And they listed, and a whole bunch of stuff which comes from the list of things that can be, impact fees can be used for, so a totally separate topic, really. And so at first, when I was writing this up, I listed all those things. And then I went back and looked at the actual new RSA, and it listed adequate infrastructure, including roads, water, and sewage systems. And I was like, well, I think the RSA did tell us what they meant by it.
I think generally, when it,
limited to.
I think generally when it says including, it's, and not limited to, it's not supposed to be.
Yes. I'm an attorney, when I
Right.
write a contract, I would
Wanna
always say
say
including but not
Yeah.
limited to.
But this isn't a,
No, I would say, but no,
Contract.
the more clarity you can add to anything, I
Yeah.
agree with you at this point.
Well, but-
I've been struggling with this lately, this week at
It
work.
gives,
so-
it gives the argument, you know, you can take any of that out.
The only.
Probably not as good for the lawyers, but.
you know, sometimes you don't like what the lawyers write because it's too wordy.
In general, I would also agree. The reason I didn't put that is because I was trying to mirror it more closely to the language in the RSA directly, because that's what it's based on. And so I basically, provided that adequate infrastructure, including roads, water and sewage systems. So I stuck it close, I tried to keep it as close as possible to what is actually in the RSA. But in general, I would definitely have written it that way, but we don't have to stick to the RSA, it just feels safer. And these RSAs are brand new. And even in this NHMA guidance that says, you know, some of this is gonna be hashed out when a town's end up in court. And decisions will be made based on that, and we'll probably have to change things after that, cause it'll be interpreted differently. So I wanted to see. I guess I wanted to make sure you didn't feel it felt like a bold step adding multifamily as a line back in the table of uses after it had been removed. Even though we were only putting it as permitted in commercial, I just wanted to make sure that you were all comfortable and felt that that was the best way to incorporate this change into our ordinance.
Well, I think the multifamily being removed was sort of a knee-jerk reaction to the proposal that was kind of out of whack with things anyway.
Sawmill, yeah.
So rather than tweak it to make it better, it was just pulled
Pull it
out.
out, yeah, okay. I agree, I just wanted to make sure you were all comfortable.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
It's a very limited opportunity.
It's
I
tight.
mean, it's not,
I think, by adding it back in, it's back on the list now. I
Right,
guess is-
provide some options.
I mean, there's a few properties I can see people looking at saying, hey, you know, this would work here.
Maybe.
You know, that's available land, I mean, there is, you know, right at Robinson, or just south of that.
Who knows?
And that district gets right up to the hill from, how far does that come up, 3A? From like a pony going south?
It's pretty far, I think.
Yeah,
so where's the,
all the pink, right,
Pony's
yeah.
way up.
Your pony's way up.
yeah.
But all that pink up to the yellow
They're
is,
all down here.
Oh, it's
Past
half
Grand.
of it's McGovern now, isn't it?
Yes.
We sold two of
Yes.
them.
Yeah,
um,
all but the Ford.
What's the like putrid green color? What's that one? I don't know what you want to call
Puke
it.
green, you can call it.
I think
Putrid.
that's that's just residential.
One family.
Is there any situation where someone might come in and want to not have the bottom floor entirely retail?
I'm sure they would want that.
yeah,
The question is, should the
Well, I
town
know,
allow
but
it?
is there any situation that we would say, oh, that kind of makes sense to allow an exception to that, or can we allow exceptions based on this wording or not?
Well,
It
it'd
would
be
require, it would be a variance through the
Would be
ZBA.
I mean, it would make it a little bit harder to do just an apartment building, a bigger, you know,
Right. Yeah, I just, if they're looking for
Certain developers would probably say,
way
hey,
back
I'm
of the
not gonna
building,
do
there
that.
happens to be one residential area or something.
I'm sure there are a lot of developers that say, oh, no, I just wanna do straight residential, and they might look at that and say, just walk away.
Would
We're trying to get a
it'd be
variance.
like a pretty significant parking impact too, right, to have the residential plus the needed for the commercial space.
It'd really depend upon what type of commercial stuff they would have.
And it suggested retail or similar uses, I don't know if we wanna try to hone that in, but that was again what the RSA said.
What do you consider a similar use to retail, besides retail?
Like would offices be okay?
Yeah, office
A
space,
working space or something like that.
Yeah, cause
a
office
dentist's
space,
office, you know,
Something that operates during the daytime hours predominantly.
Yeah.
People are at home.
right, right, so
It's kind of-
parking
yeah,
would be
would
less of
be
an
also,
issue,
impact
could be.
potentially.
the lawyer, the insurance agent,
Do those need to be defined, all those specific uses?
Well, it just says retail or similar, so do we wanna
That's
say retail or?
straight from the RSA,
Oh. Okay,
so I don't know if we wanna touch that or just mirror the RSA and wait for someone else to interpret it.
Do we, so as a planning board, when they come to us and they give us a use, and could we have the right to say, we don't think that's similar?
I think that's
Is
gonna be
that
a
a
judgment, it's
judgment
gonna be a
call?
judgment call.
Okay.
mhm,
As long as it doesn't tie our hands, do you know what I mean? That's all.
No, it's gonna be a judgment call.
Okay.
I mean, we have permitted uses in commercial, which is pretty,
Yeah, and
Right, as
honestly,
well.
that's probably what makes sense, like other commercial uses.
Yeah,
yeah.
Other similar uses permitted in the commercial district.
mhm, mhm,
I like that.
yeah.
Yeah.
As opposed to the retail.
So we can say, obviously retail might be the main thing we wanna, or is it not? Would we rather just see offices? Should we just say dedicated to,
No, I think I
fine.
would leave it, I mean, if that's how it's in the RSA,
so
It's fine the way it
retail,
is.
I
say
would
retail
just-
or other, or similar uses permitted in the commercial district.
sure.
I guess similar would be, you know, any business got clients coming to it during business hours, like,
Let me just peek at the commercial district.
But it wouldn't
real
be
quick,
like
make sure
Starbucks.
nothing was said.
Or, you know what I mean, like it would,
Usually these things it
would that
says
be
like.
considered
Is that retail?
Or would that be considered
By,
food?
not
I mean, I think,
It's kind of impossible, right? Yeah, you never throw that little extra in there, just extra words. Just wondering.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah, well, that was kind of what I was
That
thinking.
would be.
Or drive-through.
Yeah.
That might be too narrow.
That'd be like one of the.
So I'm just looking at what uses are permitted in the commercial district. So hospitals, residential care facility, social clubs and lodges.
Social club, yeah, I don't know, social
So
club.
some of these
would-
might not be a good fit. Indoor commercial recreation, a movie
no.
theater or concert hall.
Yeah, no.
So maybe we don't wanna say all the uses in the commercial district, some of these don't
Right.
sound like a good fit.
So just leave it as retail or similar uses.
Might
And
be
then
And- and then-
it'll be our judgment.
And just go from there. I mean, if there was like a, you were talking about hospital, but if there was an urgent
I
care,
was thinking the same thing.
I mean, that would be,
Or even
Yeah.
just like a small dentist's
Useful.
office
Yeah,
or
the
something like
dentist's
that,
office,
or a small. But yeah, maybe we just leave it retail or similar uses.
yeah.
And then we'll figure it out as they come, or if they come.
We'll leave it with the planning board,
Yeah.
select board or use.
I mean, I think, you know, some, like the build, what used to be the Ruggles buildings, I don't know, but coming up the hill, you know, between,
Is it River
Like-
Road?
well, no, before, like where Eagle Storage is, right before that,
Okay.
there's the two commercial buildings in there. You know, I mean, those are, you know, there's there's medical stuff, there's a driving school, there's,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and I could see like those buildings, you know, putting
Yeah, put some
apartments
apartments
upstairs.
up top, sure. Yeah, that's reasonable.
You know, I think there's a hairdresser in there, there's,
Help support the business on the bottom, you know, if they use it as a rental property.
I mean, I could see that making it,
Sorry.
somebody wanting to put in commercial looking to develop. Would be that type of,
Sounds good to me. So the second part of it is the part that says that if there is, that's the adaptive reuse section. That says that if there is an existing building that someone wants to convert to a residential use, that doesn't conform to setbacks or height or frontage, we still have to let them do it, as long as they're not changing the footprint of the building. So struggled a little bit about where to put this. I settled on there's a whole chapter on non-conforming structures and uses, so 11.04 is non-conforming structures, so I added section H and called it adaptive reuse. And then basically just said what I just said, which is pretty close to what's in the RSA.
We don't have any choice.
We have a choice about where we put it or how we do it, but yeah, actually changing what it means, no.
I think you found the right spot for it.
Okay. I still don't necessarily think that it means everywhere, because it's in the section called multifamily residential development on commercially zoned land. But
So should it go under 7.28?
well, NHMA believes that it's everywhere, means everywhere. It says, yeah, to allow the conversion of an existing wherever located. So, we'll see how that plays out, I don't know. We'll see what the town's attorney thinks. And then, I just wanted to throw something in here, cause we had talked about something for the table of uses for the wetlands, and this might not be right, but I just wanted to get something on here so we could talk about it. I don't know what you think, Sandy, I just wanted to put something about dumping, whether it's trash or yard waste or anything.
Yeah, I mean, you might wanna put in any
Give examples.
natural or human-made or construction, you know.
Should we just put like examples, like i.e. trash, yard waste, lawn
Well-
clippings, etc.?
Is there anything we would allow them to dump in the wetlands?
No,
Then why do we need to follow? Any materials covers everything that
Don't
takes
dump
up
stuff.
space.
Don't dump stuff.
So I don't like, I almost think if you start trying to define it, people are gonna say, well, you
Well,
didn't
well,
use this.
well, I think the issue is that people don't think about yard waste being an issue.
Exactly.
That is really, I think it's more the natural stuff that they think, well, this is natural and,
think
you
it's
know,
harmless.
leaves fall in the wetland. But when they,
You
you
said-
know, put everything in it or, you know, leaf clippings year after year or whatever,
Did you say
so,
dumping any materials including yard
I have to
waste?
say including.
Yeah.
okay.
Including but not limited to?
You wouldn't wanna start listing it.
You could say that, you could say whether mandated or otherwise.
What was that?
So you could say, dumping inert materials, whether man-made or otherwise?
If it's he's, obviously he's a lawyer, he's right.
Yeah.
But if what we're really trying to do here is make sure people are not dumping yard waste in the wetlands.
Yeah.
Using the word including keeps you open to everything, but it makes it clear to someone who's reading this, although I'm not sure. Anyone, I'm not sure anyone who's
I
dumping,
can't
Yard
dump my
clippings.
leaves in the,
yeah, they're probably not gonna,
I was
You
thinking of my
checking
old
this?
air conditioner and bringing it down there,
It is helpful, cause sometimes people do ask me, or they say, my neighbor's been dumping this, are they allowed to do that? And it's helpful if I
You
can,
point to
if I can
something.
point to something that's in language that they can read and understand. I think it is helpful if
I'm
it's.
glad I got a nice dry bank to dump my leaves over.
Yeah.
And then I wasn't sure, is there anywhere where it's, I put not permitted in any of them, is that right? Or, we're not gonna give a conditional use permit to dump in the buffer or something,
Right,
right?
right, right,
Like, it's
yes.
not.
Yes, yeah, yeah.
So I just put not permitted in
The
any.
dash is right in all of them.
Where is the wetland conservation district?
Anywhere there's
It's
wetland
anywhere
or
there's a wetland.
wetland.
It's
So like if somebody's
delineated.
clearing leaves in their own yard and they go and they blow it into the woods and it's in a wetland, is that like,
Not cool.
well,
Well, it's not so much the
where
blowing.
else are you gonna put it? You gotta put it.
It's when people.
I'm not worried about the wetland, the buffer is all I'm thinking.
Right.
Like if somebody's blowing the leaves in the buffer, it's like most people's houses are in a wetland buffer.
Yeah, I think it's more the,
Dumping.
you know,
it's like
more
lawn,
the dumping,
it's
yeah,
like
the.
lawn clippings, you know, like
Yeah,
people
we don't
fertilize
fertilize
their
them, yeah.
lawns and then they dump the
They
dump,
dump it in the wetland.
Or
I
they
think
have a
that's
hillside and they
terrible.
think it's, you know, oh,
Yeah.
it's good, and meanwhile, it's not good.
I feel like the leaves are all part of the natural process. Clumps of fertilized lawn is not.
And I think
you
a
know, but-
pile versus
Yeah, it's
blowing
the
some extra
pile
leaves
then
back
the
is
blowing,
less
the dispersed.
I mean, they're already falling, 90% of them are falling right there anyways, you know?
And so, I mean, obviously, we will not be driving around and inspecting everyone's yard. But I think it's helpful to have it in here for when people do ask. Some people actually wanna know am I allowed to do this, or should my neighbor be doing this? And to be able to point to it and say, no, you really shouldn't. It's almost an educational tool more than it to be used for enforcement.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I look at it, I guess. Interesting. We don't have lawn clipping police, but
It's better to leave the lawn clippings on the lawn.
yes.
It is better for the
Yes.
lawn.
Yeah.
In case anybody's wondering.
So these are the ones that we have to do. Well, besides the wetland one, that was an extra one. Anyone have anything else they want to address? Cause this is not a major list this year, which is fine with me, but. We do have time if there's any other topics that people, or sections that people want to address.
But
If
we
not,
had talked about the cluster, when
Oh, we
I
talked
spoke
about
with you today about when we have open space again around, residential dwellings, that we really should prohibit hunting in that specific open space. Our conservation lands are fine, our town forests are fine, but
What's an example of that?
like sawmill, like the land it's the land that's right around the house.
a sawmill, I mean,
Isn't there just like rules about shooting within certain,
yeah, 300 feet.
But I
That's it,
actually had someone call me and
Yeah.
say, can I hunt behind sawmill? And I was like, if you can find a spot that's 300 feet and there is a section, but is that really the place to do that? Probably not.
probably one of our neighbors.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and when you start looking at some of the open space, which has these strips and it's right around houses, even, around Westover, you have a stormwater basin, it kind of goes around the outside of the houses. I'd say, for the other conservation land, it's fine.
What problem are we trying to solve here? If they're following the rules around hunting distance from houses?
Well,
Because what I suspect, if I know the area, they may have been asking with sawmill, but in their head, they might have just been asking with the whole area behind it, which is all undeveloped. So I'm wondering if we're solving something for a problem that doesn't exist.
there've been some inquiries recently about, can someone hunt here, can someone hunt there?
Yeah, but I'm saying there's rules in place.
Right,
about
but
you cannot fire a weapon within.
right,
X
but also
distance.
towns could have requirements that say, we don't allow hunting here, we do allow hunting. Obviously, it should be posted if that's the case. As a school forest is posted sparsely because there's no hunting allowed in the school forest.
So there is a section of the ordinance where this would naturally fall. In the open space section, there's a discussion of what types of uses are generally permitted in the designated open space. It talks about forest management, trails for non-motorized use and recreation, and then talks about how removal of soil, trees should not be allowed, blah, blah, blah. So there is a natural spot to put it if we wanted to make the change. It wouldn't be like creating a section.
I guess, you say there's been inquiries.
Again, it's just like an awkward, it's like, well, it doesn't say you can't, but if you can find a spot where you're 300 feet away from a house, go for it. It's kind of the answer, I guess.
So what did you want to change it to, Sandy? What did you want it to say?
What's that?
What did you want it to say about hunting? What limitations?
Well,
did you
just
put?
not within designated. I guess.
Yeah, I'll just show.
I know the open space, it's part of designated, you know,
I'll just
residential
show you, just
development,
as an example, so like, the open space for an open space development tends to look kinda like the
Yeah.
green here, so it wraps right around the houses, basically, it's not like a big conservation lot,
block,
it's
yeah.
the land that's left over after the houses are built, really. So it's not like a big open block typically, so that's why it's just the shape of
It's
it
rare,
makes it
yeah.
not very conducive for hunting. But people apparently still want to try,
Well,
so that's
one,
Peasley, for
one
example.
off of Whittier would be.
And like,
because it's just
It's
backs right onto,
it backs
not in
up
Cook,
to-
it's the end of the block
Correct,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
correct. And it's over 28 acres.
oh, so yours back here, so maybe it's case by case, maybe some of them.
And I think that would, I mean, it obviously doesn't make sense to be, you know, oh, I get, you know, 10 square feet I can hunt in, cause it's,
Yeah.
I'm gonna put my stand in the
My stand
there,
right here, and that
cause I'm
one's fine.
300 feet away from
And the
everybody.
stand actually has other requirements in terms
Well,
of proximity to trails.
Yeah, park myself right here, yeah. So maybe it's just case by case, cause some of them might actually give us a nice big enough block where it would
Right,
be okay.
right.
Yeah, when that
When
open
it's at the
space land is
tail
backed
end
up
like
to
that, yeah,
forest area and,
Yeah, like back here, that's probably is okay.
right, okay.
This part, not so much. So maybe it's just something to think about as they come in and we can individually put them in.
Right, okay,
Maybe that makes more sense.
okay. That's fine.
So like, so saying that, no, you can't hunt in these open spaces allows the town to enforce it if there's an issue and kind of turn the eye if, you know, if someone's like right in that like kind of southern
Yeah.
lower portion, and there's probably not gonna be an issue. But if it becomes an issue, then it does allow the town to say,
So the,
this is an issue.
Right, but I
this
mean,
would not be retroactive. This
right,
would apply to new open space subdivisions.
Right.
The existing ones are already set
Right.
up, so it,
yeah,
yeah.
I mean, it's not a bad
It
thing to
doesn't fix the
address
problem for the existing
when they're coming
ones.
in here and doing, you know,
I think, yeah.
well, you
depending
got-
upon the configuration, right?
yeah, you know, you got enough so you'd have a, you know, a little strip that hunting would be legal, but you shouldn't, you know, it's not practical.
And when they're, it seems like we're getting more of them coming to the town lately, but when they are owned by the homeowners association, at least in Salem, sometimes the homeowners associations would decide, we don't want hunting, and they would just decide and post it themselves down the road. And they could choose that because they owned the land.
Yeah. Although we've been getting less of
I know.
doing the homeowners association
Yeah.
and stuff, so it,
So in that case though,
Yeah.
just out of curiosity, cause in that case, for this one,
Mm-hmm.
it's homeowners association, but it's open access to the public use.
it's open access, but it doesn't mean that you would have to allow hunting.
You could post it and say, you're welcome to walk, you just can't hunt. Unless, is it in current use and you get the recreational discount, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
that's why I'm bringing it up, because
I think you have to allow
I
hunting.
think you have to allow all the use.
It's my understanding.
Well, if it's recreational, maybe, but it,
I
Yeah,
wouldn't
there's- yeah.
classify.
Yeah. I
Yeah,
believe there's certain conditions when you can post it, but yeah, I think you're right.
I'm pretty sure you can't post.
So that would
it.
be but that would still be a decision that you as a homeowners
Yeah, yeah,
association
yeah.
could make and say, we'll give up that extra.
I guess the question is, does it mean 100% of recreational use?
I think it does.
I don't think,
Just
me? I don't think-
I think
yeah.
by default, it is all
It's for
recreation
all
use.
recreational use.
Cause technically you could use even that, that little stretch that you showed on that
Oh, yeah.
around
Little
all
little walkway part.
as walkway, public walkway.
Mm,
You can't limit the use of it.
you're right.
Let me just look this up. You must allow hunting to get the 20% recreational adjustment.
Oh, okay.
If you were a farmer and you were concerned about your crops or something, you could get around it, but.
We'll plant some corn.
Cornfield.
hayfield,
Yeah,
hire somebody to come in and
And
mow
I
it once
guess
a year.
it's if you don't do the recreational, it's a 10% discount?
the current use?
Yeah, because there is a forestry that, or whatever, that's not recreational.
Yeah, so there's regular current use and then there's the extra, the 20% recreational adjustment is like a bonus if
Right,
you allow it
right,
public
okay.
access, yeah. Alright, is there anything else? I have one other thing is that the Public Works Director had sent us a edited driveway regulations. Currently, the zoning ordinance says that a driveway can't be closer than 15 feet to a property line and the driveway regulation says 10 feet. So we'd like to clear that up. I think the Public Works Director like crossed it out and asked us to post it. I was like, I think that has to go to the planning board. So my proposal is that when you do the public hearings for the zoning amendments, that will also put in a public hearing to amend the driveway regulations. And that doesn't go to town meeting, it just needs a public hearing, but you might as well lump it in when you're doing your other public hearings.
He wants it 15 or 10.
He wants it 15, so it matches the
Just so
zoning
that it
ordinance.
matches the,
Yeah, it's not a change in policy, it's just making it, the two documents match.
the original setback had been 10 and then we changed it to 15
You know, I know about.
4 or 5 years ago or something.
So we will make those align. But otherwise, that's all I have, except minutes, but.
Minutes.
Let's do minutes.
Oh, is that last one?
I like that I'm quoted as calling something a potential nightmare in the minutes, which is nice. No changes from me though, let's keep it in there. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good quote.
I didn't even highlight it. I guess we've learned it's not the entire school that's moving to that location.
It's not.
It's just, I think, the
The
cheer
cheer.
program.
Oh,
So
are there
it'll
are there
alleviate
multiple?
the nightmare that we're dealing with in one spot.
Yes.
Oh, okay, I
I was
didn't know
gonna
they.
say, cause they haven't noticed, I get all the updates still,
Do they
and it's
have-
only talked about
Do
the
they
cheer.
have dance and cheer, is that?
We have a cheer program too, yeah, so I think they're moving on the cheer who,
It's like two different groups that kind of join forces, I think.
Okay,
And the cheer, I think.
Drama is
they
the
need space.
eating smoke.
Yeah, one of the
They
chairs
large
used to be
students.
on Tallwood,
Yes,
I don't know
runs a big
really where
dance
that-
academy in
but there used to be
yeah.
one and it moved over. Right
Ian
around
Flanagan's mom
two different
runs
things.
Concord Dance Academy.
Oh yeah, there was a mass exodus.
So no, she was very happy to tell me that.
oh boy.
Sandy, any changes?
Didn't have this ahead of time. I do have just on the, thus far, on 34, just he put on storing the overflow cars, and I think he said any overflow cars, because I don't think he,
I would say if there's overflow cars.
if there is, it was like if, that he would store them in the back. Let me also,
can't have any input.
You weren't here?
It wasn't here.
So line 103. Explains the potential tenant who would like to operate a creative dance studio. The name of the business is Creative Dance Workshop, is it?
Yeah, so
Implying-
I assume just delete creative.
Yeah, a dance studio instead of
Perfect.
creative dance.
Is this dance studio creative?
Pretty basic dance.
I think I have two others. On page 209, just the under 18 option should be under hyphen 18. And then I think in 255, it wasn't really a discrepancy. I pointed out, it was just, so I don't know, potential change, or I don't know.
Break it out, potential change, potential modification.
So Sandy, you and I will have to chat about that section. I didn't
Sure,
make
no,
a,
that's
take a stab
fine.
at it for this meeting, but
That's
I
fine.
think we can get together and.
Yep.
For the dance studio, wasn't there a point about them not, about allowing the overhead doors to still function if the, kind of desired?
It was about making sure that the human doors on the side with the overhead doors would be functional entrance and exit for the operation.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of October 16th, 2025.
One second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
I abstain.
Did you catch that Jonathan abstained? Okay, perfect.
Any non-public?
No. So the next meeting is November 20th. We have 2 applications. I'll just give you a quick intro so you can think about them. There's a proposed 2-lot residential subdivision on the end of Hunter Drive where there was previously a large house that burned down. It was at one point 2 lots that they voluntarily merged, and they would like to subdivide them again and create 2 lots. It is on a street with more than 12 existing homes and does not have any secondary access, so that's going to be what you guys have to figure out. And I'll be getting input from the fire chief, he called me about it, so we'll make sure you guys have his recommendation for that. And then the second is a site plan on is it on Dunkley?
On Dunkley, yes.
It's on Dunkley, for Amoskeag Maintenance Services, they're moving.
I see, actually, it was in the BDC packet.
Oh, there you go. It
Who
was
is that?
Amoskeag Maintenance Services, not to be confused with Amoskeag Beverages.
Right, yeah, that's why I
Totally
asked.
They're on
unrelated.
Robinson now.
Yeah.
Exactly.
They're moving out of there.
They're moving out of there, and so
They're
they're,
able to fill in the fire pond.
Oh, yes, I do remember that.
so they do, like property maintenance, plowing, I think landscaping type stuff. So it'd be a building for like a shop and storage and offices.
Seemed like they had a pretty big back, like, lot storage.
And then,
area.
yeah, like a fenced outdoor storage area and then a brining building, so it is in the Aquifer Protection District, but the brining building, it's a building, an enclosed building, it's not outdoor storage of salt.
It's a building for what?
Brining, salt, cause they do plowing and salting and
Oh,
sanding
for
of, for
brining,
properties of parking lots and stuff. So
They're
that,
still gonna be transporting the salt in and out.
yeah, and we'll talk about it at the next meeting, I just wanted to give you guys the
Yeah, yeah.
overview, so you know what's headed your way.
Yeah, that's right where plastic and used equipment, there's a lot. It's pretty much the last
Yeah.
vacant lot, I think, on
Where
Dunbar.
they could put residential above it or no? If they wanted
No,
to,
that's
do-
industrial,
That's industrial, okay.
yeah. You wanna live above a brining building?
No, but I was wondering.
That's right.
Your cholesterol will be through the roof.
Their old facility would be though, where their old site is.
That's all.
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
A second?
All in favor?
Aye.